Hi, I'm Frank Wright from publicspace.net, and today I'm going to show you a simple way of taking file names from a text file and applying them to your files. In a previous video, I demonstrated a more sophisticated way of doing the same thing, but using old name, new name pairs. But that isn't always necessary. If you have hundreds of files or are doing complex things like yearbooks, parts catalogs, etc., you might want to check out that other video. But if you just have a handful of files, this simple method works just as well and has much less of a learning curve. So we start out with our list of new file names. For this example, I've just put the numbers in sequence. 1, 2, 3, etc. But these could of course be any legal file names. The most important thing to get this to work properly first time is to make sure that your text file is in the right format. A better find a rename requires a plain text file encoded in UTF-8 to work correctly. macOS ships with the simple text utility, but this isn't great for this purpose because it's a rich text editor and has the vexing habit of converting everything to UTF-16, so I don't recommend using it for this specific purpose. Instead, I recommend that you get one of the myriad of plain text editors available for the Mac. I'm going to be using BBEdit from Barebones Software in this video, but there are a lot of great alternatives, and almost all of them have free versions. There's TextMate from MacOmates, Nova from Panic, Sublime Edit, and many others to choose from. If you have your list in another program, like say Apple Notes, Pages, or Microsoft Word, the first step will be to copy and paste the text into the plain text editor. This will remove any formatting and most word processor weirdness that might get into the way. So here I'm starting in Microsoft Word. I have all the names, one on each line. I copy the text, I open BBEdit, and I paste into the open document. I make sure that I have selected UTF-8 as the text encoding. And I save the document, giving it a meaningful name. Before we move on, it's worth checking that we haven't got any stray spaces or non-printing characters in our list. So I'm going to switch on invisibles. This makes characters that are usually invisible, such as spaces, tabs, and new line characters, visible. You can see the new line characters at the end of each line, for instance. And if I insert a few spaces, you can see those too. Spaces are okay for a better find a rename, but you shouldn't have any tabs or similar non-printing characters. Our file list is now ready, so let's start a better find a rename. I select the Advanced and Special category, and then rename from file list as the action. I click on the Browse button, locate our file list, and confirm the import. This line shows that all 10 lines were correctly loaded. This is also where error messages would appear if there's something wrong with our file list. Let's now drag in our sample files. As you can see, the new names appear in the Change To column. Note that our new file names preserve the file extensions. This is because only the file name option is selected in the Change pop-up. If you want to include the file extension in the file list, you can set this to both the file name and the extension. But we're not going to do that here. You'll also notice that we haven't told the program in which order we want the new names to be applied. Here we have a lot of different options. By using the Sort First and Then pop-up buttons, we can change the order in which the file names are changed. One way of getting the files to pair up properly with the new names is to select a particular sorting order and then write a list in that order. So on the first line of our plain text file, we'd put the name that we want the first file to have, and then continue on down. When we apply the names from the list later on, we only need to make sure that we keep the same order. You can also get a template for doing this more easily by clearing the file list and going to File, Save as File List, and selecting Simple Template. This will have the current name on each line, and you can then just replace it with the desired new name. Some people have in the past asked for randomly assigned names, and you can do that too with the Add Random option. We have, however, not prepared our names with a particular order in mind, so we can alternatively simply drag and drop the files in the preview to pair them up properly. This is what is called manual sort order. Remember to check out that other video if you'd prefer to pair the names up one by one in the file list itself. And that's it for this short video. I hope you have found it to be useful. I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel to help me reach the magical 1000 subscribers, so that the YouTube algorithm will let me reach more people. Thanks for watching.